like 6 lines from the top. Omar of Abba, Omar of Huna, Omar Rab. Chutin Shabalechi. If you have the veins, in the cheek, in the lechi, the part, the jaw that has to go to the kohen, asur. They're asur. Why? Because they're filled with dam. Any kohen that doesn't know how to take it out, you can't give it to him because it's filled with dam, and you can't get the dam out. So if he doesn't know how to trigger it out, so then he's going to eat it. So you can't give it to him. The Gemara says it's not true. If he roasts it, made of daiv, so then all the blood drips out. So it's no problem. And if he's cooking it, so if he cuts it and salts it, also it all seeps out. So it's really not such a big deal. And Rav was assuming that it's really impossible to take it out. Meaning you really have to remove the entire chut. And the Gemara is saying, no, it's not true. If you just do melicha like everything else, it's fine. Okay, Amar Rava. Rabbi Yosef. Rabbi Yosef asks us the following question. Aikana is koyin the chotif matanta. If he grabbed one of the matnas kahuna, right? If he grabbed this Rayel Chaim and Keva, so is that proper? Is that chavuvik hamachaviv mitzvah? He's showing endearment to the mitzvah, so it's fine. Or he's lozuli kamizalzel mitzvah, or he's grabbing it. He's showing that he's selfish. He wants it. He just mizalzel in it. Right. So what is it proper to grab it or not? And we told him, and we answered him. V'nosan. It says in the pasuk v'nosan lakoyin. V'nosan v'loisha yitol me'atzma. He can't take it. His own has to be given to him. Okay. In the beginning, I used to grab the matanas. I said, I'm showing endearment to the mitzvah, so it's fine. Once I heard the brayso that says that it says he has to be given to you and you shouldn't take, and I didn't grab it. But it's still Meimar Amri Havuli. I still used to ask them. I used to ask them, give it to me. I used to request it. But once I heard the Tanya, this brayso vayatu acharei botza, it's talking about the Bnei Eli, the sons of Eli, which were not so good, and they veered towards treachery. That's the right. Vayatu acharei botza. Rav Meir Omer, Bnei Shmuel, chelkam shalu b'fim. What was their issue? Is that they requested with their mouths, and instead of waiting to be given, they proactively asked for it, and that's a problem. You should wait. You shouldn't even be toivea b'peh. So once he heard this brayso, so the Rabbi says, I also stopped requesting it, stopped asking for it on my own. But if the people used to give it to me, they used to take it. Meaning, not only did I not grab it, I didn't take it. I didn't unless I didn't ask for it, unless they gave it to me. But given the Shemanah the Tanya, once I heard that the brayso that says that tznuim moishim misidayim, the tznuim, the modest people, moishim misidayim, they don't take. They pull their hands away. Gargonim, but the gluttonous people, they are cholkim. They do take. They do accept the divisions of the matanas, meaning they do accept it. So mishkal nami l'shekilna, I didn't want to take it because I learned that the tznuim don't do it. Except Labar Mimal Yom Kippur, except for Erev Yom Kippur. Why? In order to have a chazaka as a kohen, if I totally give up any of my kohen behaviors, no one's going to know I'm a kohen. Therefore, once a year I take matnas kahuna. Asks the Gemara, "Velif for siyadei, let him do birkas kohenim." What's the big deal? You see, Abaye was in Bavel and he did birkas kohenim, right? So the Gemara is asking, "Velif for siyadei." The Gemara answer leidnei. The time did not allow him. He had an oinus. The time did not allow him to do birkas kohenim. Why? So Rashi says, what was the oinus? Itim shikova letalmidav. Sometimes he was so busy with his talmidim, they wouldn't let him he wouldn't have time to do Nitzias Kapayim. Because at the time when the tzibur would go to the Beis HaKnesses, he would be with his Talmidim. So he never had the tzibur to do Birkas Kohanim, which is interesting because he didn't daven the tzibur. Maybe he left right away. So the Rif has a different pshat. The Rif has a pshat that means the Choyle Me'ayim. Choyle Me'ayim, I guess, someone's sick and he always has digestion problems, right? So he couldn't stay in shul yet. So maybe he couldn't go up there. Not sure. I think that's what the Rif says. Okay. Yeah, it's the Yud Gimel on the top. They bring Yud Gimel V'Arif Pirush Choyle B'Me'ov Have. Okay. So that's the story with Abai also. That he did not want to take the matanos actively take them. Okay. Rabbi Yosef, Hi Kahana. This kohen. If there's a kohen, the Islay Tzubim Rabbanon B'Shvivusei, that has a Rav, Tzubim Rabbanon, a Talmud Chacham in his neighborhood, with Chikol Milsa, and this Talmud Chacham is poor, or whatever. He's going through rough times monetarily. So Lizkile Matanta, the kohen should be Mizake. He should give him the matana. And even if the matana never got to the kohen, you might assume that the only way the kohen can give it over is if he got it, so now it's his to get kinyan. And then because matas kahuna is not kachim, it's chulin, it's just the moment of the kohen, so now you can give it over to the Talmud Chacham, right? So the Gemara says no, you don't even need it to get to the hand of the kohen. Why? Because if we're talking about in the case where everyone knows this kohen, the kohen or a Levi. Over here we're talking about a kohen, right? But in the situation where there's a known kohen that everyone likes and sort of everyone, it's understood that the matnas kohun are going to go to him, and therefore in that situation, it's mamish considered as if it's already given to the kohen, and then he can be mizakeh to the Talmud Chacham right away without it even getting to his hands, because it's understood that it's getting to his hands. It's a big shaila how this works. In Lamdus, what do you mean? Is it because most of the time they give it to him, so now it becomes his even before he actually gets it? How does it work? So I just saw some say that pshat is that it's always becomes mum and kohen right away. It becomes even before you give it. Maybe once you separate it, the second you separate it, it belongs to the shevet kahuna, kohen company. Not this kohen. Not this kohen. But what happens is that once there's an established kohen that gets all the matanas, so all the other matanas are miyayish. They're all miyayish. They're all the masalik yedayim, like they have no shakas anymore. And Memela it stays. Memela goes by him. Whatever, it's just interesting to know how exactly, technically, the kohen has the right to give it over even without getting it to his hands. But that's what the Gemara is saying. Because there's makira kehuna, because he's recognized as the kohen that everyone gives it to. Therefore, even if it doesn't get to his hands, he's able to have the koyach to be mizakeh to the Talmud Chacham.
With the aniyim, there's aniyim in the city that they're mizakeh, all the other aniyim are getting it. That's why they're mizakeh.
So they get it. Right. Like an Elitzias. Right. Okay. Rava v'Rav Safra. Iklu lebei Mar Yuchna b'rei Rab Chana bar Ada. So Rava and Rav Safra, they got to the house of Mar Yuchna b'rei Rab Chana bar Ada ve'amri lo, and they told lebei Mar Yuchna b'rei Rab Chana bar Bizna.
It's like an ikadami.
Sorry, ve'amri lo. Lebei Mar Yuchna b'rei Rab Chana bar Bizna. Right. Okay. So who exactly they got to this house? Fine, but Avid lo igla tilsa. He made them a fat egel. Igla tilsa is a question of what always it means. If it means the third egel, is that considered the third egel because it's so? The third one is supposed to be better, or is it considered on its third day or 3 years? I don't know. Not sure. Egel tilta has different pshatim, but by Avram Avinu it says kecholi egel mishuleshes. It means a fat a geshmaka egel. So he made them a geshmaka egel. Amarlei Rava l'shamei. So Rava and Rav Safra were there, right? So Rava tells the shamis of the balabayas. He tells the waiter, Zochilon Matanta. The way this waiter was a kohen, and so he told the waiter, Zachila Matanta, we just shechted an ego, right? But be mizake to me the matnas kahuna. Why the beina lemeichal lishna bechardla? I want to eat tongue in mustard. So because I want to eat the tongue comes with the lechayim. Zerel chayim and keva with the lechayim comes the tongue. It's the bottom cheek, the bottom jaw. So he wanted to eat the tongue. So he says, "Be mizake to me." So I guess because he was the shamus of the guy of the balabayas, and he was a kohen, I guess you have to say that's the pshat. The pshat is because he knew he was going to give it to him, and therefore even though it didn't even get to his hand, right? So Rava asked him if Rava asked the shamus to be zachet to him. So zachile. Now Rava ate from it. Rav Sarfa le'achal. Rav Sarfa didn't want to eat. So Akrilu Rav Sarfa b'chalma. They called to Rav Sarfa. Rav Sarfa had a dream that night. They called out to him the following pasuk: Ma'adeh beged b'yom kora. Pasuk in Mishlei. Ma'adeh beged b'yom kora. If you have a worn out beged on a cold day, or chometz al noser, vinegar on neser is what did it say?
Alum.
Soap. It's like a type of soap. What is that? It's a mineral.
Aluminum.
Basically, it's chometz al neser is kind of like vinegar. If you pour vinegar on something, it breaks it down. Al neser over here they say it's chomer mishamish lekvisa. They say it means it's like a type of soap. It neutralizes soap or I saw another pshat. Rashi say. I think Rashi and Mishlei over there says that the pshat is when they used to make pots, right? The neser is the mud that used to make the pots from. Now, if you pour vinegar while you're making the pot, you can't make the pot. It just breaks it all apart, right? So basically, if you wear a worn out beged on a cold day, or you pour vinegar on clay and it all gets messed up, the same thing is the shor bashirim al levra, someone who sings on an evil heart. So that's what Rav Safra heard in the dream. So he understood this to be
an indication he didn't understand something right.
Right.
Mistake.
The end of the pasuk. The end of the pasuk is saying, like he said, Torah. Rashi says, "Keinu omer divrei Torah l'misha ein yodeh lahavin ba." It's like he heard the Torah and he didn't understand it. Like Shar Bashirim, someone taught him Torah al levra on a mind that didn't understand it. Right, so he understood that the pasuk was going on him. That he understood something wrong. So also the commander of Yosef, after he heard this in the dream, also he came in front of Rav Yosef. Rav Yosef said this original statement. Rav Yosef was the one who said that you could be mizakeh to the Talmud Chacham, right? So he's Amarlei. So he told him, "Dulam mishum de'avri ashmaitza demar akri and hachi." Maybe because I was over on what you said. You said you're allowed to be mizakeh to the Talmud Chacham, and I did not want to eat from the tongue that Rava wanted, right? I didn't want to eat from it. So is it because I didn't adhere to your teaching? Is that why they said this pasuk v'shar bashir ma'alev rad? Oh, you heard Torah and you didn't adhere to it. It's as if you're singing songs to an evil mind. So hachi amarlei. So amarlei, he told him back. No, ki amriano. He says no. You were 100% right not to take it. Rava didn't do the right thing. Why? Because ki amriano. When I said my statement is. Be'acher, with another kohen who has it, and he's on his own wants to give it to Rava. But Shama bal karchem mizaki. If Rava requests it from the shamus, he's for sure going to have to do it. Rava said, right? So it has to be that the kohen is doing it on his own will. Also, when I said it's only to someone who doesn't have money. He can't get it on his own. But actually, Rava had money. Rava didn't need this matnas kahuna, so you should leave it by the kohen. Huh?
You didn't have to eat tongue.
You didn't have to eat tongue, right? The whole thing was for a Tumim Rabban who doesn't have money, Tchikulei Milsa, right? And Rava, so he really should have done it. You were right. So Ve'elamai time akin. Okay, so then why did I get this dream? It sounded like I didn't listen. I didn't do the right thing. Says the Gemara, Klapi Rava. You got the dream for Rava. Really, it was telling you that Rava didn't do the right thing. So says the Gemara, okay, Velikri and the Rava. So let the dream come to Rava. Why did it have to come to me? It says the Gemara, Rava Nozuf Hava. Rava was in Kerem from Shamayim. Nozuf means not Mamish Kerem. It means they were angry at him from Shamayim. Why were they angry from Shamayim? So Rashi brings the story in Masechta Tainis where he prayed for rain just to show that he could die. I mean, they wanted to know one of the goyim, the imam of the Shvar Malka. She wanted to know if he could bring rain, if he could do a miracle. So he davened for rain in the summer, and basically he like forced heaven, he forced Shamayim to bring rain. So it was considered they were considered angry in it. That's one pshat Rashi brings. The other pshat is Rashi says Nazuf Havi because of this story, right? They didn't want to bring the dream to him because they were angry at him because of what he had just done. Over here that he asked the shamas to give them Matnas Kahuna. Okay. As you see, a dream is a certain amount of gilu. If Shamayim is angry at you, they're not gonna communicate. Okay. Amalei Abayil Rav Dimi. Says Abayil Rav Dimi, Upashte Dekor Ma'aksiv. What's the pashas of this pasuk? Ma de beged b'yam karach that Shabashir Ma'alev Ra. What's the pashas pshat talking about? Amalei is saying B'shane l'Talmud She'eino Hogun. It's talking about the Talmud She'eino Hogun. When someone who teaches Talmud She'eino Hogun is like wearing a worn out beged on a cold day. Okay, that would be the BeiRav. Kol Hashayim l'Talmud She'eino Hogun. If you teach a Talmud that's not proper, Neufel b'Gehenna. Shenemar, you go to Gehenna. Shenemar Kol Choshech Tomun l'Tzfunav. All darkness is hidden away in a hidden spot. Teichaleu eish lo nupach. Fire that hasn't been blown. I guess strong fire will consume him. Yera sarid be'oholoi. To who? To someone who's yera, who does bad, to a sarid be'oholoi in the tent. What's a sarid is a refugee, right? What's sarid? Ve'en sarid el tamen chacham. Sarid is referring to tamen chacham. Shenemar uvasridim asher Hashem koireh. Okay, there's a pasuk in Amos, Yoel, that vasridim asher koireh is that is referring to the Talmud Chacham that were left over from the Golos. So you see, Sarid means Talmud Chacham. So the Ein Sarid el Talmud Chacham, and then that's what the pasuk is saying, that Yera Sarid Ba'alai, someone who.
It's in between the Tano and the Kiro, right? Okay.
Someone who has a bad Talmud, Yera Sarid Ba'alai, someone who has a bad Sarid in his tent, meaning a bad Talmud in his tent is going to get the punishment. He's going to get the darkness and the Teichaleu Eish, fire is going to consume him. Okay, so you're not allowed to teach a Talmud She'eino Hogun. Amar Rav Zera, Amar Rav Kol Hashem Talmud She'eino Hogun Kazar Kevin Markulis. It's like you're throwing. It's like Avodah Zarah. It's like you're throwing a stone to the Avodah Zarah. That the way you oiv it is by throwing stones. Shenemar Kitzvar Evan b'Margema. Like a bundle of stones being stoned. Margema is like Lasham Ragmuhu. They stone him, right? So it's as if you're throwing stones. Throwing stones is a reference to the Avodah Zarah where they used to throw stones to. So Kain Nois and the Ksil covered. So too someone who gives a Ksil, a Talmud She'eino Hogun, covered. He gives him Torah, he gives him honor. Uksiv Lo Novel Ksil Tanu. It says also another pasuk that says it's not proper to give a Ksil Tanu, pleasure. And this pleasure is talking about the pleasure of Torah. Okay. And there's a whole in Yankov they add a few more lines over here. They have it on the side. I don't know if you have it. You see Yud Aleph? I have it as Yud Aleph.
Yeah, we have it.
Oh yeah. So it says covered. Covered el Torah shelem kavod chachamim v'nichol. And how do you know covered is Torah? Right. It says nice in the Ksil covered. How do you know covered is Torah? Because ain't covered el Torah shelem kavod chachamim v'nichol. Utmim v'nichol Torah. How do you know that's Torah? Because it's Chachamim. Kvoid Chachamim Yinchol. Right? So the Chachamim will learn Torah have covered, okay? Amar Rav Chama Bar Chanina Kol Oiseh Tov L'Mishen Yidea. someone who does a favor for someone who doesn't know you're doing the favor to him, kilu zarek even the markulis. It's as if you're throwing an even to markulis. Shenemar kitzrar even. The margem okay, nice in the ksil cover. I'm not sure how you know from there. Ksivli novid the ksil tanu. Someone who gives a ksil covet, maybe someone who doesn't know about it. Ksil usually is someone who doesn't understand, right? So maybe over here, it's like if you're giving covet to a person who doesn't understand he's getting covet, it's as if you're throwing an evelim arkulis. Okay, not sure. Okay, weiter. We said in the Mishnah that if you're a partner with a kohen or with an ovid kechavim, so you're free from matanos. You're pater from matanos. And what happens? You have to make a sign on the animal, make a siman, so that people understand that you're not just stam not giving matanos. There's a reason why you're not giving matanos, because it belongs to a kohen, because you're in partnership with a kohen or a partnership with a non-Jew. Says the Gemara, is it also true that you have to make a siman by even if you're partners with the Ovid Kechavim? That's what it sounds from the Mishnah. Or minhu, I'll ask a contradiction. If someone is a partner with a kohen tzarich l'rsham, he has to make the siman. However, if you're partner with a non-Jew, so then psulam ukdashim, or you're talking about a type of animal that used to be kodesh and got puzzled. If it used to be hekdesh, it was supposed to be brought as a carbon, then got puzzled. The first mission of the parak said that you're pater from matanos because it was ein kedusha chalal kedusha, so therefore there's no kedusha of matanos, there's no chiyuv matanos on an animal that already was hekdesh, right? So therefore over there also you're pater from hekdesh. So in the situation where you're partners with the non-Jew and therefore you do not have to give zorim tamachev the matas kuna or psulam mikdashim, you don't have to give the matanos also. Ein tzarich l'shem, you don't have to. So it's a contradiction, because from our Mishnah it sounds like taka that you have to, even if you're mishtatef with the guy, you still have to make a siman. Over here it says you don't have to make a siman. So the Gemara the Ovid Kechavim is sitting there in the store. And since he's sitting there in the store, everyone realizes, oh, he's right there. So then, so they're going to realize he must be has a partnership in the animal, and therefore you're not getting the matanas. So the Gemara, well, okay, so the kavasa gabe kohen, the yasef amaschasa. So then when the same brisa is talking about the kohen, you do have to make a siman, right? So it has to be talking about the same case. It's the same brisa, right? So then also if he's sitting in the store, amay tzarich l'shem. So why does he have to write it down? Hare he's sitting there. People know he's the owner. Says the Gemara, no, the amri bisra kazavin. How am I going to tell me? It's because people say, no, the kohen doesn't own the animal, he's just coming to buy meat. So to a non-Jew, people are going to say, Brisser Kazavin, he's coming to buy meat. Right? So weiter, even if he's in the store, you should still have to make a siman. He's sitting on top of the cash register, exactly, the register. He's sitting on top of the money, and he's giving, right? He's collecting the money because the money's coming in for the animal. They're selling off the animal. It's coming in, and he's standing on top of the money and that shows that he's taka partner. So it's the same thing. So the kavasa gabe kohen, the yosef akasvasa. So then the contrast case that the Bryce is talking about has to be talking also about when the kohen is standing on the register on the money. So if so, amay tzarich l'rsham, says the Gemara. Amri himune hemne, says the Gemara says no. If the kohen is by the register, that doesn't show ownership. Why? Because the owner believes him. The owner believes he trusts the kohen. You would say he got the kohen to run the cash register today. But they're not going to say that. It says so maybe they'll say also the non-Jew, he believes him and he's trusting him for the register. He's just there to protect the money. It says the Gemara, people don't trust non-Jews. They're not regilim. Any Yisrael regilim laha'amin bohem. Rashi says Jews usually don't trust non-Jews in that way, and therefore the fact that he is sitting on the register, that's muchach that he's taka a partner here, and therefore you don't have to be roishem. Iba Yisayima, says the Gemara, stam ovid kechavim mifapoy. A regular non-Jew, the way they act is if they're owners, they scream a lot, meaning they get involved in all the bargaining. Mifapoy, I think it means to scream. Yeah. Utzayek, Tadir Utzayek al Chinam. Meaning when he's there and he owns the animal, so he gets involved in every bargain and he's screaming, right? So everyone realizes, oh, must be the non-Jew here has a partnership. But a Kayan, even if he's sitting there and he's the owner, he's not going to get involved. He's v'nachas. It's fine. Okay. Omar Mor. I don't know why we don't say is maybe if the non-Jew is there, what's he doing in the kosher butcher shop? Must be he's an owner. But Kayan is there to buy meat. And you can make that chiluk. I don't know why they want to make that chiluk. Okay. Omar Mor. If you have something that was hektish, became puzzle, psula mukdashim, right? And that there's no chiv matanas, but still in tzarich l'risham, you don't have to make a siman. Says the Gemara, al mucha chamilsi. You see that when you sell psula mukdashim, you don't sell it in the regular way. You have to do separate. You have to sell it in a unique way because it's psula mukdashim, and therefore people realize, oh, why is he not giving matanas? Because it's psula mukdashim. But there's a difference in how you sell psulei mukdashim than how you sell regular animals. The Gemara says, "Hari, we have a brayso that's not a mission that's not like that." Va'anan tnan psulei mukdashim are nimkarin beitlis. They're sold in a market, and they're shchatin beitlis, and they're shechtin beitlis, and they're shkolim belitra, and they're weighed with a regular liter. Amen. Right. So you see that it works regularly. There's no difference, right? So then how come our Mishnah, our brayso sounds like there is a difference? Says the Gemara, "Tigmor about the BeiRav, commander of Papa." Ava in front of our Papa explained our brayso that the ba'osin hanim karim b'seicha bayis. We're talking about the type of psulei mukdashim which are sold in the house. Which are those? That's b'chara and meiser. Basically, psulei mukdashim should be dealt with in a more honorable way, and you shouldn't sell it. You shouldn't sell it like everything else. But what happens is if there are two types of psulei mukdashim. The psulei mukdashim, which the money retains its kedusha and goes to the Beis Hamikdash to make karbanos, right? So in that situation, you want to get the most out of your money. And therefore, for those animals that when you sell it, let's say a shlomim or an oila, a chatas, all the type of animals that became possible, and then you're going to sell them, and the money's going to go make another carbon. You want to get all the money you can. And therefore, you're going to take it to the market. Therefore, you're allowed to take it to the market, even though it's a shtickle bizayin, but still, you want to get all the money out of it. But by bachar or meiser, when it's possible, so the money goes to the kohen, his own personal money. In that situation, we don't say, oh, go to the market. No, it's a bizayin. Therefore, you should sell it in your house, even though you're not going to get so much money out of it. But it's fine. We only care about the money. We only care about getting so much money if it belongs to a hektish. Over here, it belongs to a personal person, just a personal guy. So therefore, sell it in your house. And so therefore, over here, we're talking about the types of animals that you have to sell in your house, and therefore, who sells an animal in his house? That's not the normal place to sell. Once you sell it in your house, then you don't have to make a siman why you're not giving them matanas. Everyone understands. Oh, must be it's psulei mukdashim. That's why he's selling it in his house, and that's why he's not giving matanas. Okay. It says Amar Rav Huna Shutaf beroish poter min halechi. If the kohen is a shutaf in the roish, let's say the kohen owns, he's not shutaf in the entire animal, right? If the kohen is a shutaf in the entire animal, it means essentially he has a chelik in everything, just like you, right? And then at the end, the value is divided, but really he owns every part. So then once you split it, you'll decide later which parts go to you, which parts go to him. But at the end of the day, the head, everything belongs to the kohen and to you, right? So the kohen is a shutaf in everything. However, Rabbi Huna says, let's say in a case where he's only a shutaf from the rosh, the kohen only owns part of the head. That's the way the contract is written, right? So then he says, you're patur min halechi. Because he has a chelik in the rosh, so then the lechayim, which comes from the rosh, right, then you're patur from that matana. But the other matanas, you are chayiv. Even though the kohen does have a chelik in the animal, right, but it's not enough for him to have a chelik only in one little part of the animal. He has to be a full shutaf in order for you to be patur from all the matanas. If he has a shutaf only in the rosh, so then you're patur only from the matana that comes from the rosh. Shutaf biyad, if he's a shutaf in the zeroya, which is the hand of the animal, the arm, patur min zeroya. Shutaf ibnei me'ayin, you're patur min hakeva. If in the part of the matas when he's a shutafin, so then it does work. But again, it's only that part. However, BeiRav argues on Rav Huna, and he says, "I feel a shutaf ba'achas," even if you're only shutaf in the head, Pater Mikulan, you're Pater from the entire matanas of all the animals as if you're a full shutaf. Meisve asks the Gemara, Harosh Shali, Vikula Shalcha. If the Kohen says the Rosh is mine, but the rest of the animal is all yours, Vafilu Echad Mimeya, and even if I only have 1/100th of the head, right? Even if I only have 1/100th of the head, still, so he's potter. So you take a potter from the rosh. That's the more is going to end up saying the deal, because that you're potter. You're potter from, because the kohen has even a very small chelik of the rosh, so you're potter from the matanas. Hayad shali v'kula shalcha. If the kohen says the hand is mine, the rest of the animal is all yours. Afilu echad mimeya, even 1/100th of the hand is mine, says the kohen. Afilu echad mimeya bayad, so you're potter. Bnei me'ayin shali, if the bnei ayin is all mine, v'kula shalcha, however the rest of the animal is fully yours, or afilu echad mimeya behen, or even 1/100th of the bnei me'ayin is mine, meaning it is to the kohen, so he's potter also. Says the Gemara, my love, potter min halechi. Does it not mean that you're potter from the one we're discussing? If you're chelik in the head, even you have a small chelik in the head, so you're potter from the matana of the head, you're potter from the lechayim, from the lechi. But you're chayiv b'kulin, the rest of them you're chayiv. Potter min azroya v'chayiv b'kulin, potter min akeva v'chayiv b'kulin. You're potter only from the one you have shutvus in. So the Gemara, loy potter b'kulin, you have no rayim. Maybe taka means you're potter from everything. Maybe when he says the Mishnah doesn't actually say that, so maybe it means you're potter from everything. Says the Gemara, "Litni potter kul." But if so, it should actually say that you're potter from everything, not just potter from. Potter sounds like just from the one we talked about. If you actually get a potter from everything, so you should articulate it. Tanya. Also, we have a fresh advice that if the kohen says the head is mine, the rest of it's yours, or 1/100th of the head is mine. So it says potter min alechi v'chayiv b'kulin. It's beferish raisa which says you are only exempt from the matana of the organ that you own, but not the rest of the matana. So you see beferish like Rav Huna, tiyufta dechiv rav tiyufta. Okay, so we have a tiyufta. Rav Chisda says Hamatznitza, the following raisa at isei lechia barav, that made Lechia barav make this mistake, meaning it took him the wrong direction because of this price. What's the price? There are 24 presents that the Kohanim get. The Kulan nitnu la'Aaron u'labanav, and all were given to Aaron and to his sons. Bichlal uprat ubris melach. Klal means there's a pasuk in the beginning of it's in Parshas Korach. In the beginning of the parsha of Matas Kahuna, the Torah says, "I'm giving this all to the Kohanim in a clearly way." It says, what's the pasuk? Rashi brings the pasuk, "L'chol kodshei bnei Yisrael l'chonas satim." So that's like a holistic thing that Hashem says, I'm going to give it to the Kohanim. Then each one is said biprat. Each one is each one is specified that it should go to the Kohen. And then at the end of the parsha it says there's a bris melach. There's like a covenant. There's a covenant that we have to give it to the Kohanim. It's called the bris melach because melach, just like salt doesn't spoil. That's what the Mefarshim say. Just like salt doesn't spoil, so too this covenant will never be expired, right? So and each one of these each one of the matanos are strengthened with a klal prat and a bris melach. Now, kolam kaiman, anyone who does fulfill these mitzvahs of giving the matanos kilu kiyum bichlal prat and bris melach. It's as if he fulfilled it with all the klal prat and bris melach. He's mekayim a lot. And if he transgresses and doesn't give the matanos kilu over al bichlal uprat ubris melach. Okay, the Eluhen, and these are the 24 matanos. As to Mikdash, there are 10 in the Beis Hamikdash, 4 in Yerushalayim, and 10 in the Gvulim. Meaning 10 that are kachim that have to stay in the Beis Hamikdash, 4 in Yerushalayim, which are going to be kachim kalim, which you could eat in the whole Yerushalayim, and 10 that are b'chlal not in Yerushalayim at all. Big Gvulim. Eser b'Mikdash. What are the 10 in the Mikdash? Chatas oif, Asham Vaday, and Asham Tolui. Right. So these things are all the parts go to the Kohanim. Zivche Shal Mitzibor also go to the Kohanim. The Loig Shemen Shal Mitzayra, whatever's left over after the Mitzayra anoints with his the Boyan in this week's parsha. Right. So whatever's left of the Shemen goes to the Kohanim. Mushtei Alechem. That's on Shavuos, Lechem Aponim, V'Shiyori Menachos, the leftovers of the Menachos, U'Minchas Ha'omer. So these 10 things go to the Kohanim. Those are the 10 matnas going in the Beis Hamikdash. V'Arba Yerushalayim. What are the 4 in Yerushalayim? HaBechoira, a bechor, right? It goes to the kohen. It's brought as a carbon, but he gets to eat it in the whole Yerushalayim. So that's why it's Yerushalayim. A bikurim also, the first fruit you bring on Shavuos to the kohen. Umayra min toida. Also, what's separated from the toida, the shoik and the chazeh of the toida, ume'ela nazir. This is put together because it's both the shoik and the chazeh that come out of these karbanos. They go to the kohen and it's allowed to be eaten in the whole Yerushalayim. The iris kachim, and also iris of kachim. Now, iris of kachim is interesting. That goes to the kohanim, right? They get the hide, the skin. Now, the din is you're allowed to take it outside of Yerushalayim. You don't have to keep it in Yerushalayim, but it's still looked at as if it's given to them in the Beis Hamikdash. Even though it's given to them in the Beis Hamikdash, and they're allowed to take it outside of Yerushalayim, it's called Yerushalayim because it's not mamash carbon. It's not. They don't eat it.
What does he get? What does the kohen get?
Taisus asks, why is it not from the Mikdash? Why is it not mentioned as the Mikdash?
Because those are only that become possible taken outside.
And this one doesn't become possible because it's outside, because Iris is allowed to be taken outside. So why is it not called Begvulin? Because it comes from the Beis Hamikdash and it's allowed to go Begvulin. So we don't want to call it Beis Hamikdash and we don't want to call it Gvulin, so we call it Yerushalayim in between. We don't want to pair it up with anything else. Okay, not sure. Okay.
There's 5 here in the list.
Where?
There's 5 matanas.
Oh yeah, so Toida and El Nazir, the Gemara is going to show later, it's really considered one because it's the same part, it's the same type of thing. Okay, we'll see. The Gemara will talk about that. And the Eser B'Gvulin, what are the 10 in the Gvulin? Trumas Meiser. Trumas Meiser is after you give Meiser to the Levi gives Truma from that to the Kohen. V'chala, V'reishi Sagez, the first shearings, that's the next parak. Or is that the next parak? I think it's the next parak. Umatonis, that's our Matonis over here. Pidyon Aben, Pidyon Peter Chamor. Sedei Achuzah is if someone is makdish his Sedei Achuzah, his own, what he got from the Shevet, his inheritance that he got from the Shevet, he's makdish it and then he doesn't redeem it by the time Yovel comes, he goes to the Kohen. If someone is machram, it's a special type of donation that if you're machram your son, that goes to the Kohen. The Gezel HaGer, if someone steals from a Ger, and then the Ger dies without Yoshim, so you have to pay back Kerem and Chomish to the Kohen. So these are all matnas kuna that have no shaykhs to Yerushalayim at all. They just are. So the Gemara is trying to show that Rabbi BeiRav saw from this brisa that really the matanas are all one big package, and if you're pater from one, you have to be pater from all. Just like the brisa over here in the brisa of Matas Kahuna packed it all together. Matanas as one word in one word it included all the matanas. So who savar midikachashiv lo matanas bechada, since we count all the matanas as one of the Matas Kahuna, right? Instead of counting each one alone, then you'll have 26 matnas kahuna. He counted it as one. So you see, therefore he thought Chadaninu. He thought it's all one matana. If you're pater from one, you pater from all. V'lohi, it's not true. Atu moiram mitoida ve'el nazir dekachashiv lu kechada. What you ask, the moiram, what is lifted from the toida and the el nazir, which goes to the kohen, right? The kachashiv lu kechada, we counted it as one. Mishum dechadaninu. Is it because it's one? It's not one. It's two separate things. One's from an El Nazir and one's from the Toida. It's a whole different carbon. But since they're similar to each other, it's considered like one. All the matanas, since they're similar to each other, they're all under the same category of the Zeroy L'chaim and Keva of Chulin, which all go to the Kohen. It's all said in one pasuk in the Torah. It's all the same thing. Therefore, chashiv lo kechada, but not avad that it doesn't always have to be in the same boat. You could be pater from one and you chayv from the other. Okay, yibaylahu. Haroish shilcha, the kula shali. Let's say the kohen says the roish belongs to you, but kula shali. So you have an entire animal that belongs to the kohen, but only the head doesn't belong to the kohen, right? So how do we look at it in that situation? Now, basur chiyuv az linon. Do we go basur the chiyuv, and the chiyuv is in the roish, right? The chiyuv of matas kuna is in the roish. It's in the lechi, which is in the roish, is you have to give it to the kohen, right? So at the end of the day, the Yisrael owns the roish. He's chayiv to give. Basur chiyuv az linon. Where's the obligation? It's by Yisrael, so he has to give it. Maybe no, we go by the main behema. The main part of the behema, kimat the entire behema belongs to the kohen. So maybe we'll pater even the roish, which belongs to a Yisrael. That's the Gemara's Shiloh. I dilma basar ikar behema azlinu. The ikar behema the kohen who it belongs to the kohen, so maybe we should pater also. Tashima, ovid koichavim. If there's an non-Jew v'kohen shemasur tzanim leYisrael that they gave over the tzayin, they gave over the sheep to Yisrael, ligzois to shear, right? So pater halikeya pater. You're pater. In that situation, this is the same way the Bryce is saying that if it belongs, basically, if you have a sheep that belongs to a guy or to a kohen, it's pater from Reishis Hagez. The fact that we're talking about it from the Yisrael's perspective, that he's sharing it, is again the same way we discussed. We discussed Matis Kahuna from the Shoichet's perspective. It's all the same. It's just a continuation of the same way the Mishnah is talking from a Yisrael's perspective. But really, what it means, all it means to say, is that there's a chiyuv to give Reishis Hagez the first shearings to a kohen. If it belongs to a non-Jew or belongs to a kohen, he's pater from Reishis Hagez. However, halikeach gaze, and also halikeach gaze tzonish le'evkechavim. If you buy the shearings of a non-Jew, you're also pater Reishis Hagez. Right. So if let's say the animal itself belongs to a non-Jew, but you buy the shearings, right, and still you pater from Reishis Hagez, even though you don't own the animal, right? And the Mishnah finishes off that this is what is more chamor by Zroya Chaim and Keva than Reishis Hagez, meaning by Reishis Hagez. Even though because the guy owns the animal, right? Even though he's not owning the shearings at all, you own the shearings fully. He owns the animal. Still, it patters. The fact that he owns the ikar behema belongs to the guy, therefore it exempts you from the Reishis Hagez. And the Mishnah says, and that is more mekel than Zroya Chaim and Keva, because by Zroya Chaim and Keva, this would not be true. What does it mean this would not be true? That if the kohen owns the ikar behema and you own the reish, you would still be chayav, right? Meaning the Mishnah is contrasting Zroya Chaim and Keva and Reishis Hagez and saying that Zroya Chaim and Keva is more chamor, right? And this is in what situation? In this situation where the guy owns the whole thing by Reishis Hagez, you would be pater still from Reishis Hagez. But by Zroya Chaim and Keva, if the guy owns the whole thing except the reish, except the part that you would have to give, you still have to give it. So Shema Mina, Basar Chiyuv Azlin Shema Mina. You see, you go Basar the obligation. Okay, Adkan.